Okay, today we're looking at lesson 4.1, multiplication patterns with decimals. Don't forget that decimals are numbers with one or more digit to the right of the decimal point. How can patterns help you place the decimal point in a product? If we're doing a product, what operation are we using? Multiplying. We're going to multiply. Use a pattern to find the product. Cindy is combining equal-sized rectangles for different fabric patterns to make a postage stamp quilt. Each rectangle has an area of 75/100 inch. Of a square inch. If she uses a total of 1,000 rectangles to make a quilt, what will be the total area of the quilt? So she's going to have 1,000 of these 75/100 pieces. So they start out by multiplying 1 times 75/100, which is still, that's our identity property. Anytime we multiply something by 1, it stays the same. Then we multiply it by 10. When we multiply something by 10, it grows by 1 place value. So now we're at 7 5/10. Then we multiply 75/100 by 100. How many place values is it going to grow? 2. Because those 2 zeros means we're multiplying it by 10, and then we're multiplying it by 10 again, or we're multiplying it by 100. So we will move our decimal 2 places to our right. And so how many, if she was making her quilt only 100 pieces, rectangles, how big would it be? 75 square inches. Now we're going to do it by 1,000. So now how many places to the right are we going to move that decimal? 3. There are 3 zeros in 1,000. It's 10, the third power of 10, right? Or 10 times 10 times 10. So when we take our decimal from in front of our 7, and we move it 3 times to the right, because it's getting greater, right? Anytime you multiply anything by greater than 1, the number is going to get greater. So now it says she's going to need 750 square inches. The quilt will have a total area of what? Square inches. As you divide by increasing powers of 10, how does the position of the decimal point change in the quotient? I think that should say as you multiply. The decimal point moves 1 point to the right as I multiply by each power of 10. So this word should be not that. All right, sorry, this page looks funny. I hit a button and I can't get it to go back. So this should say as you multiply. Okay? By increasing powers of 10, how does the position of the decimal point change in the quotient? Okay, your answer should be 750 up there at the top. And then your answer that you need to write on that line is the decimal point moves 1 point to the right as I multiply by each power of 10. Okay, so not only did we discover they had divide wrong, but they also had quotient wrong, so it needs to be product. So the decimal point moves 1 point to the right as I multiply by each power of 10. So we were multiplying by 3 powers of 10. 1,000 is 3 powers of 10. 10 times 10 is 100, times 10 is 1,000. That's 3 powers of 10. So we moved our decimal 3 points to the right. We can also look here and know that we had 3 zeros in our 1,000. Jorge is making a scale model of the Willis Tower in Chicago for a theater set. So in other words, they're going to perform a play or something that they need to have a replica of the Willis Tower. And he's making a scale model, meaning it's not going to be the same size as the real Willis Tower, But for every foot on the real Willis Tower, maybe he's going to use an inch or a quarter inch so that it stays in proportion. Making a scale model of the Willis Tower for Chicago theater set. The height of the tower is 1,353 feet. If the model is 1/100th of the actual size of the model, how tall is the model? Okay. So, before we were multiplying by powers of 10 and our number was getting what? Larger. Now if we're multiplying by the decimals, which are a percent or a fraction of, right? So is our model going to be larger than the actual one or smaller if we're taking a fractional part or a percent of it? It's going to be smaller. So if it's going to be smaller, think about this. Which way did we move our decimal to make it be greater? To the right. Which way are we going to move our decimal to make it be smaller? To the left. So now what you need to understand is when we have a number like this, it is understood that there is a decimal point after the ones place. Okay? So if you see a number with no decimal point, then you should know that the decimal is right there to the right of the ones place. If I want this number to be smaller, which way am I going to have to move that decimal? Okay, and I am going to move that decimal to the left for each decreasing power of 10. As we go out in our decimals, they decrease, right? And they decrease as if we were dividing them by 10. So 1 times 1,353, again, is our identity property. If you multiply something to 1, it remains that number. Now we're going to divide it by 1 place value of 10 so that we get 1/10 of it. So we're going to move our decimal in 1 place. Remember I told you it was understood to be out here, and you're going to move it to the left 1 place to make your number be smaller. Okay? But that's 1/10. What is this one? 1/100th, which is the scale he was using. So how many places are we going to move that decimal? 2. And it's kind of that same thing. You see 2 decimal places here, or you see 2 zeros here. So if I move my decimal 2 places, it's going to be 13 53/100ths. Okay? Does that make sense? Does anybody have a question on that? Moving the decimal to the right makes it the number larger. Moving it to the left makes it, when I want a fraction or a percent of something, I'm going to make it be smaller. Okay? Jorge's model of the Willis Tower is blank feet tall. This should say 13 53/100ths feet tall. What fraction of the actual size of the building is the model? What fraction was it? 1/100th. Write the fraction as a decimal. This is over in your little blue box. So how do I write 1/100th as a decimal? Do I have any ones? And a 0 in the 10th and a 1 in the 100ths place. Okay. So at the bottom of your page, I'm pretty sure this is not going to be on my page. It says, as you multiply by decreasing powers of 10, how does the position of the decimal point change in the product? What did we do? We moved it to our left. As I multiply by the decreasing decimal place value. I'll go ahead and stop the recording and type that in. Okay, so your answer to the number 2 at the bottom of 161 is the decimal point moves 1 place to the left as I multiply by decreasing decimal place values. If you're watching this, please go ahead and stop your recording and get that down. Okay, so here we are. I don't know where we're at. Example 2 says Josie. Here must be our problem. 3 friends are selling items at an art and craft fair. Josie makes $45.75 selling jewelry. Mark makes 100 times as much. Is our number going to get bigger or smaller? So which way are we going to move our decimal? To the right. As Josie makes selling his custom furniture, Chance makes 1/10 of the money Mark makes. Now, that's a little tricky. You're going to have to go back to Mark, not or back to Josie, but you're going to go back to Mark's when you talk about Chance. He made 1/10 of the money Mark makes by selling paintings. How much money does each friend make? Okay. So, Mark was how many times greater? 100 times greater. And Chance, so let's see what it says about Chance. Oh, so we need to figure out how much Mark made. What is 100 times 45 and 75 hundredths? How many places are we moving that decimal? 2, because we have 2 zeros here, or this is 10 to the second power. So we're going to move it 2. So Mark makes $4,575. Chance makes 1/10 of that. Maybe I should have hit the think, huh? So 1 times 45.75. Do they have these on there for you?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go through them then. And then 10 times, that's going to make us move it out 1 place. And then 100 times is going to make us move it out 2 places. Oh, that's bad, right? Okay. Now we're going to think about Chance. He makes 1/10 of what Mark made.
So would you do the first or the second?
The 2 dot, that dot, first dot is just a little mistake. Okay, so let's look at Chance. 1/10 of 4,575. So 1 times 4,575 is 4,575, right? 1/10 of that. We're getting smaller, right? We're taking a portion of it. So we're going to move our decimal what? 1 place to the left. So if I have 4,575 here, my decimal, remember, is understood to be there. I'm going to move it 1 place to the left. So now, Chance makes $457.50. So Josie made $45.75. Mark makes $4,575, and Chance makes $457.50. Now, we're going to have to do some remembering here. What does it mean if we have 10 to the 0 power? It's like multiplying by, say it,